with your father and everything, and just, you probably had a lot of, I don't know, you probably had a lot of people that were placing you in like a certain box,
Yeah.
I guess my first question to you would be, what is the first song that you learned to sing?
Oh, wow, that's a really good question. Itty Bitty Spider.
I love it. That's funny. You must have been really little when you...
I started writing songs as a little girl. I actually ran into not too long ago, I had a kindergarten teacher that showed up, my 4-year-old kindergarten teacher, and she said, you used to come to school every day and go, would you like to hear my new song? Because Daddy was writing it all the time, and that's what I was going around. And so I just thought everybody made up songs.
Wow.
How neat.
And I'd make up little songs as a kid,
So very early. Wow.
You started at a young age then. Wow. And I guess that leads me to my next question. I was kind of interested with something to do with your schooling, so I thought I'd kind of tie in, were you involved? I'm assuming you're involved with choir.
Yeah. Church choir was really good for me. Regular choir in school wasn't so good for me. I've actually heard other singers that went on to big commercial successes here say the same thing, but if you had a voice that wasn't so classical, they would have never picked you for solos.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Isn't that funny? And so, but I was very involved in school talent shows.
Oh, okay.
Starting at an early age. And
Okay.
actually, I had a teacher, one of my earliest memories of performing was, it was in the 4th grade. My 4th grade homeroom teacher knew I liked to sing, and she would, we'd finish our lessons early, and before the bell rang to leave, she'd go, Pam, would you like to get up and entertain? And I was just happy to.
More than obliging, huh?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, why not?
Why not? Wow.
I started early.
Wow. So then your extracurricular activities, it sounds like music was a big thing for you.
Music was a big thing.
Yeah.
It was always, and really about the only thing. I didn't get a lot. I was maybe a little awkward as a kid, and so I didn't get. That's back before people became so sensitive with kids' self-esteem. I had a few disparaging comments about my dancing in dance class and my tennis play, and I'm like, okay, I'll stick to music. Nowadays, instructors don't say some of those kind of things to kids.
Oh man, they can be brutal.
Yeah, they can.
That's true.
Maybe they did me a favor.
I guess my next question would be, of course, me being a musician, I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm, I'm getting a CD ready, and I'm hoping, that there'll be a record label somewhere that will be able to help us in some way. I don't know, but I guess my next question is, how old were you? If I may ask, you don't have to tell me. You can tell me an age range if you want. But when you received your first record deal, and were you nervous?
That's a really good question. I had wanted to try to get a deal by the time I was 21, and that didn't work out.
Yeah.
I got a deal when I was 24.
Oh, okay.
And you'd think that it would have happened earlier because of Dad, but I never wanted to ride on his coattails, so I really tried to do it my own, and it took a little bit longer. But I really, and this has happened too, I remember having a conversation with Reba saying her first records, believe it or not, didn't make it out of the 50s or something. Nobody remembers those.
Wow.
But I had a few singles out. I had a single out. Actually, my first single was a pop song, a dance kind of song.
Oh, really?
And it did nothing. And then I was on Warner Brothers, and I had like 2 singles, 2 or 3, and they did nothing. But what was really crazy is I believed in the songs, and I re-recorded them, and that does not happen in Nashville a lot.
Wow.
Most of the time, if something doesn't work the first time, people go, well, that's that. But I knew that it wasn't the songs.
Yeah.
So maybe it was Memphis was on my Warner Brothers album.
Yeah, I heard that on our way.
Really?
Yeah, it's not as good a version, on all honesty, but I just kept playing the song to audiences, and
And that's one that didn't go at first?
And people, yeah, it didn't go at first. And I kept playing it though, and every time I'd play it, people would go crazy. And I'm like,
Exactly.
okay. And then I had another song called One of Those Things, and the label said, oh, it didn't happen at all. It went on to be like a #2 record.
Yeah.
So I was really glad that I stuck by my guns. And when I signed to Arista Records, everything started going #1. So
Wow.
I started just work. Yeah. I know.
Wow, how
It
awesome.
also happened with Randy Travis actually re-released On the Other Hand twice.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And it just wasn't the right time. They re-released it all the way.
Wow.
So every now and then it happens, but not very often.
Wow.
So
Wow.
Who'd have thought?
yeah, yeah.
I'm kind of, from seeing different concerts, and of course I was in college. I got a degree in music and stuff, so there was a lot of practicing involved, and I'm sure you've experienced a lot of, hardcore practice sessions. I guess one thing I was interested in, and I'm sure other readers may be interested too, is, how much is really necessary in order to fulfill the performance demands, and I guess how did you handle that transition? Because I'm sure when you were a kid, it was probably different from when you got more of a professional level.
I just about don't think you can practice too much.
Yeah, there's no limit.
No, it's just the more comfortable you are on stage and the more you can forget about it. Actually, I have a lot of different demands on my time, and I never actually feel like I get to practice enough. But you just I got, and to tell you the truth, I get a little bit nervous when I do some of these acoustic things because we don't do them all the time. And I'm used to having a band backing me up, so I get nervous about my playing, but
Yeah.
I try to do a good job.
Well, and I noticed today, throughout the concert, all of you, and I know I said this earlier how you were all in sync and stuff, but it's like I could just tell there was like a chemistry, a feel, and it was just really nice because I feel that being a part of the audience, it's like you had a way that you involved
That's
everybody.
neat. Well, especially acoustic, it's all about listening to each other.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to say every little thing is the same every night, but it's not. So that's a kind of a neat thing because it leaves room for nice little moments and nice little surprises if you just relax and listen to each other and let the music happen naturally.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah, yeah.
And the other girls are really talented, so it's not too hard to enjoy playing.
Yeah, I could tell they're really awesome
Yeah, they
too.
bring a lot to the table.
Yeah,
I heard a
they're
lot
good.
of
You got
seventh
some
chords
good.
in there and suspensions
Yeah,
leading
yeah.
to different
Oh,
things.
yeah,
It's
that's
just
the,
really neat.
That's the secret to looking good, is surround yourself with talented people, right? I learned that along.
I don't think you need much. You're pretty awesome all on
Yeah,
your own.
very
You
good,
are.
yeah.
I've liked you a long, long time.
I guess the next question is, I listened to the Waiting on the Wind, which is a song I guess you did with your father.
Yes.
How was that for you? What thoughts or emotions, memories perhaps surfaced
emotional.
as
It
you...
is emotional. The main thing for me when I do that song is it's a really neat feeling because no matter how old I get, I still feel like his little girl. So that's a really special song. And every time we sing that, it's sort of like a little time warp.
Yeah,
It's just me and Daddy.
that's neat.
It's really special.
It's a
And
special.
I was really glad I found that song because, believe me, there aren't many father-daughter songs that
Right,
are appropriate.
right.
And I found that one. I'm like, oh boy, this is it.
Wow.
It's pretty cool.
And did you and him write that together?
No, we didn't write that. I didn't write that. Actually, a guy, Tony Hazelden, that wrote Mama Knows for Shenandoah, really great songwriter.
Oh, good. And I know you talked about, overseas, and it sounds like the country that you enjoyed the most was Ireland.
Well,
Because you're
Ireland's
Irish,
beautiful.
you're-
Yeah. Well, all the places are neat for different reasons, but I really loved Ireland.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Wow.
And the weather was uncommonly good for us. It was good. They were like, this is never, they said, it rains all the time. You're so lucky. It was sunny and beautiful.
Wow.
Wow, perfect weather it sounds like.
A little cold, but good.
Mhm.
I guess something that I haven't heard a lot of people talk about reading articles and interviews is about the balance between professional and family life. And How is that something that you handled? I read something where you were